Okay, that's a good enough intro. This is the ring. If you can let it focus. This is with the wedding band included, so I love it.
I love you.
Okay, so we just wanted to do a video of how this happened because we know we're gonna have so many questions, and this is the best way to figure it out. So I don't know that much. I've been kind of badgering him for questions about how everything happened and how long my parents have known. And I don't know. He didn't really tell any of my friends because I am kind of like Nancy Drew. I figure stuff out really easily.
No one really knew anything until I wanted them to know anything, which was the very last minute.
Probably works best that way.
Yes.
So I'll just start with, I'll kind of tell my side if you want to tell your side.
Okay.
So my side of it, this is finals week, by the way, so
I apologize.
I was studying for a final and then I hurt my neck. And so I've been laying on my bed with a heating pad on it, so I accidentally fell asleep. And then, for most of you who know me, I'm really bad about answering my phone. And I actually answered the phone when he called, which is a really big deal. And I was really adamant. I was like, hello? And he's like, hey. And he said that he ran out of gas and he needed me to come pick him up on his way home from work. And so I was like, okay. And he's like, are you sure? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, bundle up. And he said he made it to the park right down from where we go to school. And
You go to school.
where I go to school. He used to go to school here. So I can't quit playing with it like a dork. So I actually brushed my teeth before I went, even though it was really cold outside. Sorry, Denver.
You're fine.
Because I have a thing about breath, and I'm really glad I did now. I'm so glad I brushed my teeth. So I brush my teeth, I go down there, and I love this park because this park is the place where we kind of used to sneak off to, and we kind of fell in love in this place, and it was the first place we told each other that we loved each other, and we were just friends at that point, so it's kind of a big deal. And we spent all night there just talking and went to school straight the next day. And when we were here at this park, gosh, how many years ago was that? It was 3 years ago.
Yes.
It was 3 years ago.
Yep.
So we sang You Are My Sunshine to each other all night. It's kind of a pivotal point of the story. So anyway, tonight I go down there. Is this too long?
No, keep going.
Okay, I'm really excited. So I drive down there and I see him and he's standing outside of his van and I'm thinking, he's stupid, it's so cold. It was so cold tonight. And the night that we went down there for that first time
Well,
that we said we loved each other, it was so cold that night too, so it was very fitting.
46 degrees, whatever.
But there was a stray cat, and so I thought maybe he wanted to look at the cat. So he called me up there, and so I got out of my car and I was like, baby, it's freezing, it's warm in the car. He was like, come here. And I was like, okay. So he hugs me and he was like, he was basically saying
You don't remember.
I'm sorry, I'm fogged over now. But he was saying you realize where we are, and was talking about, he was like, just over there is, remember we came here? And I was like, oh yeah, and we were talking about that, and we were just hugging each other, and he's like, can we sing? And I was like, yeah, and I already knew what he was talking about, and we both start singing You Are My Sunshine. And he's like, can we sing it one more time? And I was like, yeah, and we sang it again. And in the middle of the song, he gets down on one knee. And I'm not a huge crier at all, and I started bawling. I was just shaking, and he thought I would keep singing, and I just stood there shaking. And he started crying too. So he was crying. He was on one knee and he was crying. And he's like, you are my sunshine. It was the most precious thing ever. And then he said, I think he said,
Go on.
will you make me happy? Something. And will you be my wife? That's what I heard. So what did you really say?
I said, after I finished singing the song,
Which I was crying during the whole time.
you were just like, were crying and weren't saying anything. You were like wiping your eyes. And you just, like, as I was down on one knee and I finished the song, you just stuck your hand out. You like were crying and you just stuck your hand out. And so I put the ring on and I said, Bethany, you know what would make my life better?
I guess I said, what?
Is if you were my wife.
And then if you've ever seen The Office...
And you just, first you just kind of kept crying at first.
Well, I didn't say yes at first because I was so overwhelmed. But if you've ever seen The Office, before I said yes, Jim and Pam, they do this thing that they get married, and Pam's mom says, you know, when you're so overwhelmed and things go by so fast, and when you really want to remember a moment, just take up your invisible camera and take a picture. So when he asked me that, before I did anything, I just took my camera up and took a picture of him, and we both started laughing because we knew what that was, and then I think I said yes.
You started shaking your head and you said yes.
Okay, and
which made me laugh that you did that, because in my head, like, I was the whole time, not like while I was doing it, but before when I was planning, in my head I was like, how office should I make this?
We've been watching it like on our free time, which isn't anything at all, but we've been like
Right.
slipping it in there every once in a while, and it's like our thing now.
Drew's calling me.
My brother's calling.
I'll call you back, Drew.
So that was I thought that was...
I'm glad-
that just came to my mind. I was like, I want to remember this because everything's going by so fast, and so I just...
I'm glad
I
you made an Office reference because I wanted to, but I didn't.
So do you want to tell your side? Because I pretty much virtually know nothing.
Yeah. Well, before tonight, she had no idea that I had even talked to her dad, which this is like December 10th, and I talked to her dad back in October around my birthday, which was like the 18th.
We'll get back to you, Drew. It's my brother again.
And then, you know, we looked at rings earlier in the year, like back in the spring, and then I looked at rings over the summer. I picked out a ring in June, paid for it at the end of October, and I bought it at I picked it up like the 1st of November. And ever since then, I have been trying to find the perfect time to propose.
I'm so busy.
She is so busy. Very hard to get on a free weekend, to get free time anywhere. And then finally, I was like, I'm doing it. I'm going to make this happen. I started putting things in motion. And like I said, nobody knew until I wanted them to know. I texted her dad today because he wanted me to text him the day of. He asked if I liked you, and I'm like, of course.
He asked you if you like me?
He's like, I know you love her, but do you like her? And I was like, of
That's
course.
one thing that we've always said. Once we stop liking each other, I don't know.
Right. No, but I tried to get a hold of, you know, some friends, just to like tell them, hey, I'm fixing to do this. And earlier today, actually, which was funny because in my head, like all day at work, I'm sitting there nervous because I kind of had this plan in my head of how I want tonight to go. Originally, I wanted to take her out to eat to celebrate finals being over, and then
My finals aren't over though.
you have one left.
Yeah.
And then to take her across the street to the park and then do all this. Well, as soon as I asked her, she already had plans. So in my head, I'm like, all right, plan B, doing this.
I'm glad I was
Right, which I already had a plan B, which was the whole my car breaking down thing.
I loved that.
And then
So realistic.
And then randomly today, which I'm kind of glad you texted me this because I had forgotten about it. But in the past, we had talked about having someone take pictures or take a video of it, which isn't exactly easy to do. If it was, then everyone would have it done, I think.
Yeah.
But she texted me today at like 4:30, 30 minutes before it gets dark, and I'm already have all this planned. And she's like, seriously, you know what would be awesome? If you could get like a picture or a video of our proposal. She's like, I want to keep that forever. And in my head, I'm thinking, woman,
I had no idea.
it is an hour before dark. Let's do this.
I had no idea.
I immediately like go through my phone. I'm like, Corey has a camera. I call up Corey. I'm like, Corey, what are you doing? He's like, sitting at home. Why? I'm like, are you doing anything? He's like, well, I got to be at work at 6. I look at my clock. I'm like, I need your help. I explain the situation to him, and he agrees to help. I meet him up at the park, or first, on my way home, I run to my apartment, because that's where the ring is at. I run in, grab the ring. As I'm running out, I yelled at my roommate Maggard. I'm like, bro, this is going down, wish me luck. And then we started joking about...
You need water.
Yeah, we started joking about... I made an office joke, a bunch of other stuff. I left, go to the park, set everything up. Corey's hiding. We try to find the right place to do it, where I should stand, find the right lighting. We get all this planned out.
You feel like I'm nervous.
I call her.
I think it's kind of old, sorry.
That's fine. I call her. You know, she answers. She's tired.
It's a miracle I answered.
It took her a little bit to get down there, and it was kind of cold.
Sorry. I was just woke up from a nap.
But the whole time, I'm just praying that it goes, like, smooth. I'm like, please let this work. I'm like, please let everything, like, work out. I want this to, like, go how I have it planned. And you pull up, and I knew immediately you were going to try to get me to go to the car. So I was telling you, like, come on out here.
I thought it was a cat.
As soon as you walked out, I'm like, yes, this is perfect. And then you come over, I hug you, and I notice we're standing a little off cue from where we need to be for the pictures, so I'm kind of trying to, like, pull her back without being super obvious. But we hug, we kiss, we talk about our first memory there, and then before she's wanting to leave, I have her start singing, and we sing together, and then on our second time through, as we're singing it, I get down on one knee, and as soon as I start to, like, bend down, she stops. She, like, lets go. She's, like, stopped and just kind of, like, stared at me. And I just, like, get down, and I'm holding up the ring, and I keep singing. And, like, she just takes off her glasses and, like, just start crying, sticks out her hand, and then everything else happens. But a lot of it was kind of spur of the moment stuff today.
I'm glad. You probably needed that with me.
I've tried not to think about it too much because I have been trying to keep it secret from you. So a lot of it was kind of spur of the moment today, but the only thing I knew is that I wanted to do it today. I was just trying to make everything work at the spur of the moment, and I'm really glad it did.
Me too. Like, I think if it wouldn't have been spur of the moment, I would have figured it out. It's just like, I'm so suspicious of everything.
Mm-hmm. You're really good at figuring out stuff. So.
On accident. I don't want to figure anything out, but it just happens. So, anyway, that's our little story.
Sorry.
And for
being so long.
It's okay. We just had a lot. But for those of you who don't know, we've been together since February of 2010.
Mm-hmm.
And
2 years, and this will be 2 years and 10 months.
Yeah. So we're going up on our 3-year anniversary, and
But now we have to start over because now we're engaged.
now I'm gonna start over.
And then we'll start over when we get married.
Yeah, we have to start over then.
Right.
So, this is my best friend, and I'm gonna start crying again. I didn't I just don't know what I'd do without you.
I love you very much.